soapbox, I want to say something. So my wife and I got to figure out ways we can get things done, right? So like I joked with some friends one time and told them like, hey, I took my wife's debit card and credit card. She can't use anything because, you know, she keeps overspending on stuff. Well, I wanted to bring some balance to that. Because see, I said it and then I didn't think about it later. I was like, well, you know, that is us working things out for our situation. That's not something I would say to apply to everyone's situation. See, because the difference and what I find with a lot of people I talk to in their marriages and their relationships and the stuff they're doing with their long-term committed relationships is we have openness about everything in our relationship, right? My wife has every password. She has access to every account. She has access to every business account, every life insurance policy, every health insurance policy. She has access to literally everything. At any time, she could go do whatever she wants. And I fully trust her to have all that, to do that. When we joked and I said I took her debit card and credit card, it was because there's times, and she's mentioned this before, you know, having ADD, sometimes you get spontaneous moments of wanting to do something where you have a heightened emotional sense of wanting to do something or get it done. And the emotions of that moment sometimes supersede what might be logical in the moment. So there are times during Christmas, especially seasons of holidays, things like that, or birthdays, other kind of celebrations where things like that happen where we might have a talked about budget amount we want to stay within, and we wind up blowing the budget. So I joke with her and say, oh, I'm gonna take your card, take your stuff so you don't, you know, you can't go do that. Because the difference is if you're at the store and you don't have the card, you have to take a couple extra steps if you're still gonna really make a purchase. You know, if you don't have it, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot I wasn't supposed to spend more of this, so I won't get it this time. We'll go back, you know, Josh and I'll talk about it. Because sometimes if she's out and I'm not there, you know, as a married couple, we are a help me. We both help each other to be the best version of ourselves we can be. That's my role for her, and that's what she does for me. And I fully trust her in that regard. Like, I didn't marry her because I don't trust her. I married her because I completely and thoroughly trust her with my whole life and my livelihood. So in my jest, saying that I took her card or something, that's not me actually withdrawing access for her to do things that she needs to do if something came up that she needs to take care of or handle something. Contrary to what I hear in other relationships, there are a lot of people who have hidden passwords, who have hidden accounts. They have he money and she money. It's not just our money, but the individual partner thinks that they own a portion of things that are within their marriage. And that's not how we operate with our marriage. Everything's completely open. We're completely sharing everything that we have in every aspect in every kind of way. So me doing that in jest was something to help us, you know, for our short period of time to get to the holidays, do some things here or there, because we had already gotten to our budgeted amount that we plan on doing. But it's no way that I'm controlling or abusive in some kind of way where I take away her ability to do things that she needs to do. I just want to put that clearance out there because I had people that I talked to that, you know, were thinking like, oh yeah, if Josh does that, then yeah, maybe I should do this to my wife or do this, that. And I'm like, you got to think about your situation. It depends on what you need to do and what you and your wife can talk about. She's agreed to give up the card. So she said, hey, I know sometimes I go out and I do something contrary to what our budget was supposed to be. And, you know, we have future and long-term goals that we want to reach and get to, levels of success and things that we want to do to achieve. So she's like, yeah, here, take them, hide them from me. Don't let me use them. So then I won't continue doing the same thing that I did before. But it is in no way because I'm being controlling and taking away her ability to do things that she wants to do. At any time, she could say, hey, Josh, give me them back, and then she'll have them, you know? So it's not something where I wanted to be taken out of context. It's something that worked for us, but I wouldn't suggest that in many scenarios, especially if you're in a scenario where you and your spouse, you all don't share bank accounts. You don't have shared bank accounts. You don't have your names on everything together. You have some things separated. It would not be wise for you to try and take ownership or take control of the other person's stuff. And even if you do share stuff together, if only one of you has access to it and only one person's name is on it, you know, that's a manipulative, controlling way to go through your relationship where you literally have an on and off switch to turn on or turn off your spouse's ability to do things that they think they need to do in the time they need to do it. I just wanted to bring clarity to that, say it again, reiterate it, because I don't want people out there putting themselves in a situation that's going to cause their relationship to have more stress, have an undue level of control and ownership and possessiveness over another person. There are many people that are in abusive relationships or harmful relationships where that definitely would be a no-no. It would actually be a red flag type of sign that you may need to reevaluate staying in that relationship or moving on to something different, because you don't want to be in a situation where someone is completely trying to control every aspect of your life and everything you do has to go through a filter through them. My wife and I take everything through a filter with one another, but it's voluntary. I voluntarily filter everything I do through her. She voluntarily filters the things she does through me. And that's how we work things out. That's how we stay together as one. And that's how we continue to be open with our communication and have that level of trust that we can allow each other full autonomy and access to everything that we have within our realm.